Hello and welcome back to Rev Real Estate School. I'm your host, Michael Montgomery, and today we're talking about how you can basically eliminate commission objections completely using a brand new strategy. And now this is a strategy. This is not just a script. This is a way that you can approach listings moving forward in order to basically eliminate commission objections, increase your overall commission, and also appeal to a larger set of sellers and different types of clientele out there. So all of these things can be accomplished using this strategy. So what is this strategy? This is called the three-tiered commission structure. Now, what do you do when you just have one commission structure? You present that commission structure, and then that seller is going to decide, should I use that agent or should I not use that agent? So you're basically having the seller decide between yes or no. Should I use them or should I not use them? Now, when we present a tiered structure, what we're doing is we're actually causing that seller to move into second order thinking or decision making. Yes, for sure, they're still going to be determining whether they want to use you, but they're also going to be determining how are they going to use you. So instead of saying, I'm going to use that agent, they're going to be thinking, what package makes the most sense for me if I do choose that agent? So you're causing that seller to move further down the buying journey before you've even had any conversation about it. And that's because you've given them optionality. And so this is the concept behind the three-tier commission structure. And as the name suggests, instead of just having one commission fee, my fee is X, now you have three commission structures, 1, 2, 3. Now you'll notice a lot of companies out there do this. Basically, every technology company, whenever you sign up for any sort of SaaS product, typically you have the entry, you have the pro, and you have the enterprise version, or some version of that. Now, the reason why they have optionality out there is so they can appeal to a larger segment, but also they can offer solutions for people at different stages. Now, us as real estate agents, we want to be able to offer solutions for people with different selling needs. Now, these commission structures don't have to be wildly different, and in fact, they shouldn't be. We're going to get into the details shortly. But that being said, having three allows us to very easily handle any commission objections and to offer a wider range of services for clients. So what's an example of a three-tier commission structure? Well, basically, you have an entry, a standard, and a premium. And those tend to be the words that I use. And the reason why I like those words is because they all basically showcase a certain feeling. We have entry, which doesn't necessarily mean that it's worse quality. It just means that it's more entry, that it's more approachable for people. Then we have standard. And standard is where we tend to want to drive people towards. And standard tends to be the quote unquote standard fee in your area. So then we have standard. And then finally, we have premium. And premium is going to appeal to a certain segment of the population that wants the most premium feel. So we have entry, standard, and premium. And now when it comes to it, we're not talking about entry being half the price and then standard and premium being way higher. Instead, these are all quite close. They may just be within half a percentage point or even $1,000 or so of one another. What we have is we end up having three structures that are all really good. And what we can do with this is we can handle commission objections and we can also present optionality. So what would we go ahead and put in our entry, standard, and premium? Well, potentially in our entry, maybe we don't have a staging consultation. Maybe we don't have a 3D tour. Maybe we don't have a video. So we're actually reducing some of the marketing spend, and then we're passing along those savings to the seller. Now, that doesn't mean that this is a discounted service. A discounted service would mean that we are reducing things dramatically and reducing our fee dramatically. This could be a very small part of a percentage point, if not $1,000 adjustment down. But what we're doing here is we're passing that savings on to the seller, but what we're ensuring is that we're still remaining profitable. So we're not actually reducing our marketing spend by say $250, but we're reducing the seller's fee by $1,000. Those numbers don't make sense. So we want to ensure that if we are making a $1,000 adjustment to our commissions, that is also being reflected in some of our marketing. Now, $1,000 in marketing, I understand, would go a long way, but maybe we just have a different approach to how we go about doing this. This then leads us into the standard package. Now, the standard package should be the generally accepted fee structure in your community. Now, I know there's no set fee structures in any community or in any area, but that being said, there tends to be a generally accepted rate. And so that will be the standard rate. Now, what we do want here is we do want our marketing and our standard rate to be better than the average agent for sure. We don't want this to be weak and then have premium be our standard. We truly want standard to be our standard. And we do want this to be the going rate. Now, we don't want this to be wildly above the entry rate or everyone's going to be driven to the entry rate. Instead, we actually want the entry rate to be quite close to the standard. And because of that, it's going to draw people to the standard plan. Now, there is a reason for having 3 different commission tiers here. If we have 4, 5, 6, 7 commission tiers, A, people can be overwhelmed by too many options, but B, there's no middle option. And middle options are very powerful. And so that's why we have 3. People will be drawn to the middle option. Most people do not want to be on each side. They do not want to be in the edges. So they don't want to be entry, but they don't necessarily want to be premium, so they'll go for standard. And so basically what you're doing here is this is your fee. Now, if you just approach this by saying, this is my fee and this is what I offer, people are well informed. People are educated nowadays. People will have researched how to sell a home. So by you telling them this is how we're going to do it and this is my fee, that can almost be insulting. So instead, we use this tiered structure to help give them some agency in the decision-making process. And the 3 structures drives them towards this standard one. So your standard tends to be your standard marketing plan. And then we move over to the premium side. Just like with entry, there's going to be a segment of the population that will always want the most premium service. And because of that, we can then really lean into that and actually end up really beefing up this marketing plan. So maybe we're adding in more marketing. Maybe we're adding in more white glove level service. Maybe what we're doing is we're adding in videos, or we're adding in multiple videos, or we're increasing our social media ad budget. There's all sorts of different things that we can do. The next thing that can come up with this one is if I get a lot of people that select this option, am I going to have to spend a lot on marketing? Well, yeah, you'll spend more on marketing, but you're also getting more by way of commission. So it ends up evening out. There is another strategy that you can use here. Now, depending on how your brokerage or how your city or how your region is set up, you can also do a retainer. So if that is permitted, then basically the seller will pay you a retainer, a non-refundable retainer, when you actually start the listing. And that will help fund a lot of the marketing that you'll be doing. And then from there, of course, when the property sells, then that is taken off the commission. So that's another approachable way that you can go about tiering your commission structure. So the real power behind this is objection handling. So a seller comes to you and says they want a deal. Well, you can always offer them the entry package. But more frequently, what I like to do is I like to offer them a certain package for a lower package price. So maybe I'm offering them the premium package, but for the standard price. And so I'm still getting the full commission because what I'm doing is I'm offering them more for that same commission. Now, another great thing is when you are dealing with family and friends and they want the family and friends discount. Well, you can offer them one package for a different package price. And so it's another great way of handling this objection. Now, what you'll also notice is yes, your conversion rates will go up. And the reason for that is people are now thinking, how are they going to be working with you versus are they going to be working with you? So when you just give them a fee and a structure, they're thinking, am I going to use this person or not? When you give them 3 structures, they're saying, how am I going to use this person? So we've really moved them along the journey, and there's a lot of power to that. The other thing is you are going to be differentiated. You are going to be approaching this different than most other agents out there. And as such, you are going to be memorable. And so if you're competing with 5 or 6 agents, your plan is going to stick out compared to the others because it's going to be different. And you're also going to be allowing them to have some decision making in this process. And since we need to understand that our clients are well educated, well informed, we cannot just approach this by saying, this is how we do it, take it or leave it. We want this to be a 2-way conversation. That goes so much better nowadays. Previously, if this was back in the 90s, it used to work a lot better if we just said, this is how we do it and this is how it's going to be done. But now it needs to be a conversation. It should be a conversation. And that's what these tiers allow for. Now, we've discussed this, but we're also appealing to a larger audience. And the reason we're appealing to a larger audience is there's a segment of the population that will always be resistant to commissions. And they tell themselves that they're never paying a full commission. If that's the case, we have an option for them. We have an entry package. Now, again, this entry package is not significantly reduced. Instead, it's just slightly below. And the reason for this is we still need to be making our margin, but we want that person to feel like they're winning. So there are times where people just want a reduction. It doesn't matter what it is. They just want something. And that's what the entry package allows, is it just allows them to have a more approachable model. Now, on the other side of the coin, there are the premium folks that we discussed. And these folks will always want the premium service. They want that word premium behind their level of service. And so we're appealing to both segments of those markets, as well as the majority, which is the middle that is going to be drawn to standard. They do not want to go to one edge or the other edge. They just want the standard. And that's what this model allows for. Now, finally, a big perk to this is a better customer experience. Now, because they actually have a say in how their property is going to be marketed, they're going to be a lot more receptive to this whole listing process. You're not going to be telling them what to do. They're actually going to be part of making this decision. This will handle commission objections. This will help increase your commissions. This will help you handle friends and family commission objections. This will also help you actually end up structuring your commissions in a better, more systematic way, improve conversions, widen your audience, and then finally, it's also going to improve your customer experience. So this is a real winning strategy if you want to be working with more sellers and convert more sellers at a higher rate and also enjoy the experience more. Thank you very much for watching or listening to this episode. Remember, you can reach out to me anytime. I'm on Instagram at the.michael.montgomery, or you can head over to revrealestateschool.com. Thanks again, and we'll see you in the next lesson.